I want to speak about us building up our own black politicians on the grassroots level, starting at an early age. What do I mean by this? See, we as foundational black Americans, we all know that we've been misrepresented from the right side and the left side in this political thing for far too long. And what we got to do is we got to start cultivating our young, raising them up to be politicians. And then when they do become a politician, we got to make sure, and when they speaking out for our interests, we got to make sure that we taking care of them, aligning their pockets, making sure they well taken care of. See, a lot of the times what happens is when we say we want a black politician, they'll run and go grab a person from the tether class, somebody that got our skin but not our mind, and they'll use them and push them out here and promote them to speak out against us, to say the things that they want to say but they can't say. They got to put a black face on it to validate it. So they'll go get a tether who comes out here and says, no, we don't want reparations. We don't want this. We don't want a black hate crime bill. We don't want that. And they're speaking a whole bunch of things, and they ain't even titled the reparations because they ain't even got ancestral connection and their people wasn't enslaved in this land. So they'll get a bunch of people that look like us, but they're not like us, to come out here and say a bunch of nothing and say what we don't want and what we don't deserve, this, that, and the other. And we're looking around sideways like, who is this cat? Come to find out, this cat is a tether. Or they'll go grab up when we say we want representation, they'll run and go grab a coon. And that coon is in their pockets, the dominant white society. So that coon ain't going stray too far from that leash. He's going to have a whole bunch of talking points and a whole bunch of nothing that he's promoted out here to say. And it's not, most of the time, none of the time, it's in our interest what he's saying. So what we got to do is start cultivating our young from a very young age, building them up and instilling that in them to become a politician, to be for their people. And what we got to do in the foundational black American community is we got to know that nothing is done for free. We're going to have to start breaking them off with some chips, taking care of them, and making sure that they looked out for when they do become a politician, so they keep our interests in mind when these people try to come to them and get them on board with things that go against our interests, that they say, nah, they got a connection to us. I'm not going against my people's interests. And they'll do that once we look out for them and take care of them, especially if they are people come from a foundational black American background. They'll make sure our interest is taken care of, but we got to take care of them. It goes hand in hand. One hand wash the other, both wash the face. And another thing I'm seeing, family, they got something called the Disinformation Act that they trying to put out. It's basically an act where they're trying to silence foundational black American content creators. And they got Osa, founder of Black Onyx. She's a tether from Nigeria. They got her out here pushing this, but it's all funded by the dominant white society, but they had to put a black face on it. So they got her out here running around trying to discredit foundational black American content creators that speak out against the Democratic Party, the Democratic plantation, immigration, and things like that. They're trying to discredit them and throw a whole bunch of salt in the game against content creators such as myself. And who brought this to my attention was Brother Tariq Nasheed, along with Brother 19 Keys. So yeah, we got a lot of things working not in our favor, family, but we're going to get it together and we're going to get those reparations because we starting to become codified and unified. And that's what they fear, us black Americans all getting on one accord and pushing for the common thing, which is cash reparations and that black hate crimes bill. But we stand on code because immigration and none of these other things benefit foundational black Americans. We don't give a damn about no immigration. Give us our tangibles. Give us things that are owed to our people. Immigration has never helped our people. And truth be told, all of these immigrants flooding the zone, they coming into our community. Y'all ain't putting them up in y'all community. So that's another way to undermine us and the things that we pushing for. So we just staying on code, and we got to start building up our own politicians, though. We got to starting them out young so they have our interests in mind. Because even if they give us a black person that's a politician, he most likely going to be a tether with no connection to us. So it's easy for him to throw us under the bus, or they go get somebody from the coon class. We got to start somebody out young being a politician where we can keep eyes on them, take care of them, look out for their interests and needs. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.